name's Aly Cook. I'm an independent New Zealand recording artist. I've been using the internet as a form of marketing for well over 10 years, having held #1 positions on mp3.com, artistlaunch.com, also had my music videos played on MTV Dance in Europe, on CMC Country, GMC Country in America, and CMC in Australia, and Sky 63 here. I've always found it easier to get music videos played than to get it necessarily on the radio, because there is a certain amount of control, I feel, that happens over that. Now, Section 92A I totally disagree with, and I think in a way this coming to the fore is actually showing just how much control major record companies hold over things like governments, radio stations, etc. Because this law has been passed without one bit of consultation whatsoever with the independent recording group, and if you like, we are the large group in New Zealand. Basically, major record companies in New Zealand represent a handful of artists. Most of those artists are the ones that you see continually rotated on the radio. They are also, when you see those little spinning things down the bottom of their video clips, that means my major record company got $5,000 of taxpayers' money. That is something I've been extremely outspoken about, and I do believe that major record companies should be actually ineligible for gaining New Zealand on-air funding, and this law is an example of them pushing their muscle and forcing something through with no consultation with the rest of the industry. I've not received one bit of written correspondence prior to this law as an artist, as a member of Australasian Performing Rights Association phonographic performances. I've received nothing about this law whatsoever, asking me what I think about it even. They basically railroaded it through. You know, and there has been massive changes in technology, and there's been massive changes in the way people market music. This law makes us internet service providers. This law breaks the basic thing of being innocent until proven guilty, because in this case you have to prove yourself innocent after someone's reported you to be guilty. I think that the national government should actually just repeal this immediately and look at it right from scratch, and look at it for what it is and where it's coming from. And while they're looking at it, look at how much money they're actually giving these multinational companies, which are not New Zealand-owned companies, which our taxpayers are paying into. You know, basically independent recording artists such as myself come further down the pecking order than a major, you know, record company signed, or an artist who's signed to an independent which has a distribution through a major. If you look at the New Zealand on-air funding, you will see that those artists are up the top, and no matter how many records they've sold, no matter how many #1s they've had, they still continue to pick up video grants, artist funding, when it's very hard for an independent to get them. And like I said, I think people complaining about this law and seeing how major record companies can actually railroad something through on a government level, they need to look at a few other issues as well. Section 92A does not represent me. It does not represent independent recording artists in New Zealand who have no affiliations with a major record company, and I think it should be repealed immediately.